The Hollywood game can take a lot out of an individual. It is not easy being criticized, treated like an object and not an individual, and having to hear half-truths spread about you. A lot of celebrities have turned their back on Hollywood because they do not want to play the Hollywood game. And when this artist turns their back on Hollywood, it is only normal they turn elsewhere for their creative output. The popular artist known as Mos Def now goes by the name Yasiin Bey. Yasiin has similar stories to other Hollywood celebrities. Yasiin Bey stayed true to himself and did not lose sight of what was most important. He began his hip-hop career in 1994 alongside his siblings in the short-lived rap group Urban Thermodynamics, UTD, after which they appeared on albums by the Bush Babies and De La Soul. In September 2011, Mos Def announced that he legally changed his name to Yasiin Bey and would go by that name. Shortly after that announcement, he recorded as the narrator of the children's hip-hop musical Pacha's Pajamas, a story written by nature. When Mos Def was asked why he changed his name, a name that we had known for 17 years, he replied by saying that he feared Mos Def was being treated as an object and not a person. He also said he has been going by the name Yasiin Bey since 1999. In addition to changing his name, Yasiin felt the need to escape the United States. He briefly stayed in Central America and other places in North America and Europe before eventually settling in Cape Town, South Africa. He said, "For a guy like me to leave America, where I had about 5 or 6 generations in one town in America, then we must know that America was not all that good." Back in 2014, Yasiin was already having problems with leaving the country. He was forced to cancel a U.S. tour because of immigration issues. Yasiin had concluded that there were political reasons as to why he was being treated the way he was treated. Yasiin went on to describe South Africa as being a hindrance to his personal life and his work obligations. He described how state officials asked questions about him and his family without having any legal right to do so. In January 2016, it was announced that Yasiin Bey was arrested in South Africa for attempting to use a world passport to exit the country. Yasiin had been living in South Africa since 2013. When he tried to leave, the Department of Home Affairs considered his world passport an unofficial document. The Department of Home Affairs claimed that the country does not accept world passports and that the rapper entered the country without a valid U.S. passport. According to the Daily Beast, Yasiin allegedly stayed past his allowed date on the visitor's permit and he was given 2 weeks to leave the country. After the news broke, Yasiin's rep made a statement. He said from what he heard, their allegations were wrong. He, Yasiin Bey, attempted to leave the country for personal commitment but was denied even after providing a world passport. When Yasiin's rep was asked if the family stayed past their visa term, he confirmed it, but said that the arrest was based on the claim that Yasiin was using a false and fraudulent document. In a message, Yasiin said, "I was prevented from leaving South Africa for unjust, unlawful, and illogical reasons." In the message, he said, "The South African government wants to deport my family and that they are making false accusations against me." He also went further to say that the South African government said his world passport was fictitious, but Yasiin confirmed that the world passport had been accepted by him several times in South Africa. He concluded the message by saying, "I am not a liar. I have made no false claim, and I have not misinterpreted myself." He said, "I was under unnecessary state supervision and scrutiny." In that same pattern, Yasiin announced his retirement through Kanye West's official website. He said, "I am retiring from the music industry as it is a symbol, and also from Hollywood effective immediately after I release my last album." Yasiin had previously released a freestyle earlier which was titled "No More Parties in South Africa," which was similar to Kanye's "No More Parties in LA." Later that year, in 2016, Yasiin had to cancel another concert in London due to travel restrictions. Several other European tours were canceled for the same reason. That month, Yasiin released another message confirming his retirement on Facebook. He said, "I am retiring for real this year, and with the 17th anniversary of Black on Both Sides, I am grateful to have had the career that I enjoyed." The following month, Yasiin was finally given access to leave South Africa, but not before he was put on South Africa's undesirable list. According to the South African Act, a foreigner may be put on the list if he overstayed his visitor's permit. Yasiin, after his return, was slated to perform 1 show in Harlem and 3 in Washington, D.C. He also released 3 singles, Local Time, NAW, and Seaside Panic Room, which were slated to appear on his album December 99th, scheduled for December 9th. Just a week after he announced his final album, news broke of 2 other albums coming from him before his final retirement. Yasiin's collaborator on December 99th, Ferrari Shepherd, said there were no release dates for the album, but they were complete. In 2017, Yasiin performed at One Music Fest, which was the final performance of his career. Before the performance, he participated in an interview with the Associated Press. In the interview, he assured fans that he would continue creating and he would return to the public spotlight in the future. He said, "I enjoyed performing, and if I get a chance to do it again, I would do it again in another way, and I would just give it my all." Yasiin's farewell tour was supposed to wrap up at the Kennedy Center of the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C., but he was convinced by One Music Fest founder Jason Carter to perform in Atlanta. In February 2018, Yasiin Bey announced a new Black Star album that was scheduled to be released that same year. However, there was no release date made public. In recent years, Yasiin has made appearances on Kanye's album and Kid Cudi's album. In 2019, Yasiin debuted the highly anticipated follow-up album, Nigga, in Hong Kong at a private listening party. According to the press release, the album was recorded in London in 2015 and will continue to be unveiled as a series of installations around the world. Unfortunately, the album will not be released digitally or physically. That is, the album will not be put on a streaming service. During the 2020 pandemic, Yasiin was always seen in Yellow Springs, Ohio, which was home to Dave Chappelle, whom Yasiin called one of his best friends. Their friendship has been captured on camera throughout the years, going as far back as Mos Def starring on several episodes of Chappelle's Show, as well as being a part of his block party. In 2021, the two got together with Talib Kweli to form the Midnight Miracle podcast, which was mostly recorded during the pandemic on Chappelle's farm, where he hosted multiple comedy shows. The lifelong friendship between Dave Chappelle and Yasiin Bey is evident in Yasiin's presence in the podcast. The two have way more in common than the love of Africa for hip-hop. Both seem to retire at some point in their career, and both fled to South Africa. While Yasiin claimed he was going to require his creativity would not allow him to stop making music and sharing it with the world, Yasiin's retirement came as a result of frustration from certain things to see and experiencing. Yasiin was interviewed at the beginning of 2020 to promote Niggas, its accompanying art exhibit. Yasiin said, "It has been 10 years since my last album, but he has been active in that time." He said he has never felt a lack of inspiration, and that he loves to take his time, but time is relative. Yasiin stated that his next project with Black Star is 95% done and promises a follow-up soon. Although he knows he has been saying that for a while, cooking up new flavors is all part of the process of showing that Yasiin Bey will never stop creating. What are your thoughts on Yasiin Bey? Do you think he deserved the treatment he got in South Africa? Let us know. Thank you for watching. Until next time on True Celebrity Story.